Hi, and welcome to the Black Sheep Yarn Co. podcast. My name is Angelique, and I am I'd Rather Knit on Instagram, and my business page is Black Sheep Yarn Co. on Instagram, and I'm I'd Rather Knit on Ravelry also. It's been a little while. I went on a trip to Hawaii and had a really fun time. My mother-in-law takes us on trips periodically, and it's been a couple of years, but we went on a cruise and it was super fun, and we got to do a lot of snorkeling and swim with turtles. Excuse me. And what else did we do? A lot of exploring. The snorkeling on this trip was amazing, and we all really love to snorkel, and I had a ton of knitting time. Before the trip, I dyed up a new colorway, which here it is. I ended up naming it Wheatfields. Someone had the idea of naming it Wheatfields, and I kind of wanted to name it Wheatfields at Sunset because when I looked up pictures of Wheatfields, I saw a lot of like sunset pictures or sunrise pictures, and it looked a lot like that, but I didn't want to have to do a big long name, so I just did Wheatfields. So I cast this on my trip, and I finished it just right after my trip. And this is the Turtle Dove by Espostrico, and a lot of people are knitting it right now. It's on my bulky weight yarn. It's 100% superwash, and I think these are, I'm trying to remember if this is a double skein. I think this is a double skein, so it's 8-ounce skeins, I believe, and I'm going to try to show you without killing myself. I'm sitting on a stool, so, let's see. Here's the bottom. It has a split hem, and it's nice and big and flowy. I really like it. It's super comfortable. It's kind of like wearing a sweatshirt, and this yarn is so soft. I did not do mohair. I love how the ones with mohair look. I'm just a little leery of doing mohair for myself, especially for a sweater. I think before I do anything, any sweater in mohair, I'm definitely going to try like, sorry, I don't know what's going on with me. I want to try like a shawl or hat or something because I'm afraid I'm going to get way too hot. But I really loved knitting with this yarn, and it loosened up and got really drapey after I blocked it, and I was really glad that I kind of did everything a little short. Like I was a little nervous that I hadn't given myself enough room in the length, because I did cut that a little bit. But I'm really glad that I didn't give myself any more room than I did, because when I blocked it, especially because it's 100% superwash, it just really grew. So anyway, so that's that. You might have noticed when I got home from my trip, I took a shower, and I got out of the shower and I was like, I'm cutting my hair off. So I cut my hair quite a bit, like several inches, but I was so over it. So anyway, I've already wore these socks, but I did finish my socks that I've been working on. They actually look really good with the sweater. I wore them with the sweater the other day. I'm drawing a blank on the name of my colorway. That's funny. I can't even remember my own colorway. It'll come to me eventually. But I really like how these turned out. I think they're fun. And they look super cute with a pair of boots and leggings and my new sweater. So those are off the needles, so I'll be working on some more socks. Let's see. Works in progress. So I have some stuff that you guys have seen, and I pulled an old project out because my goal is, as I'm knitting on different projects and finishing things, is to also be bringing out old stuff and getting projects that have been sitting for a long time done. Also, while I was gone, my daughter house sat for me and her husband, and they took care of the dogs and stuff. And when I came home, she had completely taken down all my fall decorations and decorated my entire house for Christmas, which is no small feat because I have just like I'd say 5-foot trees or taller. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I put up in my house. I'm kind of a freak. And I am going to try to put a video at the end of the podcast that I would like to try to do some pictures of my trip and then some of my Christmassy decorations. I ended up getting a new phone. It actually was price-wise was a downgrade for me, but I've been having a lot of trouble uploading my podcast from my iPhone to my computer because I do not have an Apple computer. So I switched to the new Google Pixel. Got a really great deal at the after Thanksgiving sale. And I'm hoping that makes a difference in like the process of putting my podcast together, because the way I had to do it was ridiculous with my iPhone, and it could just be me being dumb. I don't know, because I'm not the best with that stuff, but I'm just kind of winging it and figuring it out as I go. So anyway, I knit a little bit on my weekender since the last podcast. Actually, I may have knit kind of a lot. I can't remember where I was last time. So I have both the front and the back finished. And since this is where my progress keeper is, I'm thinking that I probably was here last time and went up the rest of the way. Did this really cool exposed seam. I don't know, maybe I did show this last time. So we did the exposed seam. I like how it turned out. I think it's really nice looking. And this is in the Blue Moon Fiber Arts. I've told you the colorway a few times. I might have it right here, but yeah, I don't have it in here. And then I'm this far on the sleeve. So, thinking, I don't like my sleeves too long. They tend to always grow on me anyway, but I like a bracelet length. I mean, when I'm standing up, this is all the way down to my wrist. But, like if I just kind of naturally pull it up. So I will probably do like a bracelet length on this also. I get so hot. I really easily get hot. So I like to keep my house fairly cold because I'm always working, always moving, it seems like, and especially with dyeing yarn and stuff all day. And so I don't like my sweaters to be like full length as far as on the sleeves. I have found that if I do like a little bit looser sweatshirt type sweater, I can wear it so much better than if I do. I have some colorwork sweaters that I've done that are form-fitting, and I almost never wear them because I get way too hot. And I think it has a lot to do with the gauge. I mean, this is a bulky weight sweater, and I can wear this far easier than like a fingering weight or worsted weight sweater that I have that is form-fitting. So I think for me, loose fitting that can just go over a tank top or something, so that when I get too hot, I can just pull it off and, you know, I don't have to go change my outfit or whatever. I've had way too much coffee today. Oh my. Okay. All right, well, I knit a little bit on the classic cuffed hat by Pearl Soho, the ones that I'm working on for my niece. I haven't knit a ton, but I'll show it. I love this color. It's bubblegum on my DK weight. Actually, I think it shows better back here. I might have to turn the autofocus off on this because when I bring it in, it gets kind of weird coloring. That's actually a really good representation. I love the speckles in this one. They're just real soft, even though they're bright colors. So I'm hoping, see, I have 2 and then I have 2 more in the works. If I can at least finish these ones, which I will, that'll cover my nieces on my husband's side of the family. I'm going to be doing a couple of quilts for my nephews out of Hawaiian fabric that I got on the trip. And then I don't know if we'll get stuff for the other side done, if I'll get, knitting or sewing done for the other side of the family. We'll see. I always have good intentions, and then I totally I don't know. I get sidetracked with stuff that I want to knit for myself, which is super selfish of me, but it seems like I love to knit things for other people, and then when Christmas comes around, I always find stuff that I want to knit for myself. So, and there's some things I would like to knit for my kids too, before Christmas, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I knit a little bit more on my sock that's being knit up in Girly Weekend and my Precious. And come on. There we go. That's pretty much exactly what it looks like. You'll have to excuse my lovely Band-Aid, but I cut myself cutting my boy's hair the other day. And it's pretty bad. It's on my knuckle, and I have had a Band-Aid on it for 3 or 4 days, and every time I take the Band-Aid off, it breaks open and bleeds. Sorry if you don't like to talk about blood, but I don't know if I should have got stitches or what, but it's not happening, so whatever. Okay, so this project I pulled out of my old WIPs, and I was so excited about this project when I started it. It is The Girl from the Grocery Store by Joji Locatelli, and the yarn is a kit. It's one of the sisters kits that she did, and I can't remember if it's the Jody kit. I can't remember which kit it is, but anyway. I feel like I have a good amount of the stripe section done. And then it's going to go into there's a couple of lace sections, and I'll be doing that in this, the lighter sparkle color. I think it's really pretty. I don't know if there's any color I don't love. That's why I have the hardest time picking what my colors are, because I love fall colors, but I also love cool colors. So I'm going to get a close-up of this if I can. It's really hard to do when you can't see. There we go. So it's sparkle, and I love the grays. And who knows? I mean, if I finish this, it could even end up being a gift, but oh, it's so soft. But I don't knit very fast when it comes to fingering weight yarn. I mean, who does? But I feel like I'm kind of a slow knitter. And this is in my Hippo bag by Bags by Awesome Granny. She made this special for me, and I love it. It's got polka dots inside. I just think it is the cutest bag ever. So that's that. And then I probably say that like all the time. Anyway. Okay, and then my last work in progress, and then I think I'm going to show some stuff that I'm going to be working on, is the Guthrie sweater by Boylan Knitworks, and I've just picked this back up since I finished this one, and I'm almost done with my weekender. I just needed something that took a little more brain power, because sometimes I just get really bored with the basic knitting. I wish I was a faster color work knitter because I really seriously want this sweater. The color is more, I'm trying to see, it's more probably looks like this, but I wanted to try to get, oh there, that's not too bad of a representation. Isn't that pretty? It's by House of Alamode, and it's her cabin colorway, and she's local here in Portland area. And then the other one, the other color is by Republic of Wool, and I don't know what I did with the tags for this one. It took 2 skeins of this. But they did a collaboration. It's just funny sometimes, like, and actually I think they might share a studio space. I could be totally wrong about that, but I think that they maybe do share a studio space. Is that not focusing? There. But I love it when, that's kind of a neat concept, having 2 dyers collaborate together and come up with something to do, because usually, I mean, you'll see like dyers and bag makers, but I think that might be the first time I've seen 2 dyers do a collaboration. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right, what else do I have? This is going to be a quick podcast because I literally just like did most of my knitting on this sweater, and then I feel like I'm just like breezing through everything. So it'll be a quick one. What I'm going to start on. I have some spinning that I have been doing, which I think I've shown a few things, but this is one that I'm definitely, I did show this a few podcasts ago, but I'm going to put this on the wheel, just as a little something special for myself. This is the by Mackenzie Textiles, and it's merino fine alpaca silk and silk noil, and it's so soft, and it's black with the white specks, and it spins up like a tweed, and I want this so bad, and I'm thinking about putting it with this. Honestly, I could put it with anything, but thinking about putting it, maybe pairing it with that. It depends on how much I get out of this, and I do not plan on spinning it super fine. I used to spin a bunch of stuff really fine, and then I found that I never used the yarn because it was so fine, and so I have started doing like bulkier weight yarns. One thing that I did recently in a bulkier weight, and I really want to use this as color work, and I can't remember whose fiber this is. My guess is it's probably Hobbledehoy because I buy most of my fiber from her. But this ended up being 158 yards of like a probably worsted, somewhere between worsted and bulky. I actually don't know if I wrote it down. That is getting pretty washed out. It's probably more like that. But I love it, and I think it would be really pretty to put it into some sort of like sweater that calls for like a small amount of color work or even gloves or something, and then just use like a gray, like a charcoal gray or something like that as the base, so that this really pops and shows. So that's kind of what I've gravitated towards since I started to do like a thicker yarn. Another thing that I'm going to do for Christmas time is, hang on, I should have had these ready. I have to cut some like whites and blacks, but I picked these up in Hawaii at like a market that we went to. And I'm going to do quilts. This is my intention for my boys and for my 2 nephews that went on the cruise. So I got like, they came pre-cut and everything. And it was literally, I paid $8 for all of that. So that was cool. The other one is like surfboards and cars and stuff. That kind of thing. And then a couple Hawaiian florals. I don't know how cute the quilts are going to end up being. It's just more of like a memory, and boys don't really care anyway. Like it's just like so that when they pull it out to cover up with, they think of their trip. So that'll be fun. And then while I was on my trip, my sister-in-law and I got ukuleles. And my mother-in-law got me this cute little, we went to the Dole pineapple plantation, and she got me this adorable little pineapple. I'm going to see if I can do this. And I was like playing with it in the car, and I thought maybe it like made noise or something, and then I realized it's a tape measure. So I was super excited about that, and it says Hawaii on the back, but it's so cute. And who doesn't love an adorable tape measure? So these are the guy that designs these ukuleles is in, I can't even say it. I'm just going to put it up here in case anybody wants the information. It's not very clear. I don't know if you can see that or not, but so here's my ukulele, and I just think it's totally adorable. And I've already started learning a song that my sister-in-law and I are hoping to play at Christmas. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's fun, and I literally haven't played an instrument since high school marching band. So we'll see. It's hard to find, like, you have good intentions, I think, as an adult, and then finding time, which, I mean, everybody has time. It's just what you want to do with your time. And so, I don't know. I think that I just have to find the time to do it and set that aside and, not be lazy about it. Trying to think of what else. Yeah, I think that's it for this podcast. Like I said, it's a little bit of a shorter one, but I'm going to pop some videos in, hopefully, and hopefully next time I'll have a ton of works in progress or even finished projects. And it'll definitely be in a couple of weeks. I'm not going to have it be, 3 weeks or however long it was between the last podcast and this one. And just keep checking out my my shop, because I have I'm going to be adding more and more new colorways. That's my goal for this week, is to keep adding new ones. I did put this in the shop on my MCN base, And I have quite a few. I definitely have, I think, at least a couple sweater quantities of this in my on my MCN base. I do not dye my DK Sparkle or my bulky weight yarns unless you do a request for them, because they're just more expensive, and they're something that I feel it's like things can sometimes sit in the shop, and sometimes I will pop them in there if I have like an extra one that I'm dyeing up. If I'm doing like a special order and someone just wants one, and I usually put two in the dye pot or whatever it might be, I will sometimes pop one in here and there. But for the most part, those are special requests only, and you can message me either on my Black Sheep Yarn Co. Instagram page, or you can message me on my Big Cartel. My shop is blacksheepyarnco.bigcartel.com. So you can message me on there if you have any special orders. I'm usually pretty quick with my special orders. I'd say if I have the yarn in stock, I can usually turn it around within a couple of days. So yeah, I think that's it. So I am going to get to work, and I will see you guys in a couple of weeks for a special Christmassy podcast where I plan on maybe sharing some recipes and some fun Christmas ideas and things like that for like quick Christmas presents and stuff like that, because I love to do crafty stuff other than knitting and sewing at Christmas time. So yeah, I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.